Christmas party with my constituents from my riding.
It's just so hard.
And I welcome you here.
So why do you not want to respond to questions?
As long as you're very immediate.
Français, monsieur? Pouvez-vous répondre en français?
Ah oui, d'accord.
Oui. J'étais un de vos électeurs ici. Je vous ai envoyé une lettre. Vous ne m'avez jamais répondu. Je vous ai demandé d'avoir du service en français dans mon comté. Je n'ai jamais rien reçu en français de vous. J'ai envoyé une lettre avec votre document qui avait déjà le thème préinscrit dessus. J'ai rien reçu de vous. Offrez-vous du service aux francophones dans votre comté, monsieur? Je suis dans votre comté. Je suis un francophone. Est-ce que je peux avoir du service en français ici?
Oui, je parle français.
Non, mais j'ai pas reçu de réponse. J'ai envoyé la lettre préimprimée. J'ai rien reçu de vous, monsieur.
Nous allons en discussion à propos.
J'ai pas reçu de réponse en français de vous quand j'ai envoyé ma lettre.
Je reprends maintenant. Avez-vous les avis?
Je l'ai envoyé déjà à la poste. Ça fait plusieurs mois.
Ah oui, c'est possible de parler avec moi.
En français aussi? En français?
I just wanted to ask why are you bringing this bill forward?
Well, the copyright bill is an important bill. It's a piece of framework legislation. The copyright laws that we have in this country right now don't reflect the treaties that Canada signed internationally. Canada has been criticized internationally as one of the countries that signed the so-called WIPO treaties in 1996 and 1997, and has never proceeded with the legislative changes to basically achieve compliance with those treaties. We've been criticized internationally. It's a very significant issue. It's a piece of framework legislation that needs to be updated. The former government, several years ago, attempted with Bill C-60 to achieve WIPO compliance, and this bill essentially will proceed where that left off. That bill died on the order paper several years ago. So the intent is to put a bill forward and then to get into a constructive process at a parliamentary committee to examine the issues, to hear from people. Anyone here who's interested in speaking to the committee, there will be a process at which point views will be heard. So.
Pursuant to that,
Please.
You were saying we've been criticized internationally. Can you recall, would you tell us by whom we have been criticized?
Well, we've been criticized by our trading partners. We've also been criticized by different watch groups on copyright. And I can tell you as the Minister of Industry, virtually every CEO that I've met with who's engaged in high-tech industries where intellectual property ownership is an issue, has raised the question with me. And it's been one of the most pressing issues since I became the industry minister. Now, I know there are difficult...
criticized for
excuse me.
I
know that
minister?
These are difficult issues, and we have to work to strike the appropriate balance, and that's why I welcome what the parliamentary committee has to say.
Mr. Minister, can you tell us
I'm not aware of I'm being criticized for anything, actually. The bill hasn't been introduced yet.
Okay,
So
what are other countries criticizing us about? Give me a sense of why is it
in the current legislation, the current bill that exists now, what are they criticizing?
the concern with the current state in Canada is that we have not complied with the WIPO treaty that we signed in 1996 and 97. They relate to the modernization of copyright legislation to deal with modern technological advances. So our copyright bill, to be clear, is quite dated. It goes back more than a century. And we need to update that bill. We signed international treaties as a nation in 1996-97, said that we would do that. And we haven't been successful yet in defining the way forward and defining a new copyright bill. So that's what this is about.
Minister, Prentice? Example of at least one of the criticisms, just so it's more clear as actually what we're criticizing.
Well, the issues relate to, for example, copyright material that's available on the internet. How should it be available for use by educators?
Do you have a position on that, sir?
The position will be clear in the bill that is available for discussion. And the internet, the whole question of internet service provider liability, if it's copyright infringement, these are the kinds of issues that will need to be dealt with.
Mr. Prentice,
I would like to ask,
if you look at European...
I would like to ask you why you declined to speak to the CBC show search engine when they had questions ready from the public for you about this before the bill has gone through. Why did you decline on this issue?
Well, I've been busy doing other things. I'm happy to talk to CBC anytime. I spoke yesterday in Calgary at a major speech. I answered questions, including questions from CBC afterwards, and there were no questions raised about this.
So you will talk to search engine about these questions that they've had the public, they've asked, you know.
I'm happy to talk to CBC at any time or any other.
That show in particular?
That show.
Anyway.
Excuse me, sir.
Anyway,
Can
thank you
you
very
tell
much.
us when the last time Canadians were consulted about this?
on blank media be repealed with this?
Enjoy your party, mister.
And that was a Supreme Court consultation, so.
1,001.